I just returned from a working trip to Panama to this now on the ground in my backyard, which brought me to be inspired to produce the first part of this video, and that is throughout the year from people in the warm palettes. I hear things like, oh, but browns aren't out, say in the summer or spring and what have you. If you are, say, a true autumn, warm spring, true spring, you may find more of your brown colors and orange range colors more in the stores in the fall if you're in a climate that experiences 4 seasons. So I always say, if you find your colors, buy them up as they're out in the stores. But then it also brings me to the topic of, what do you do if you can't find your colors in the stores? I hear that a lot with every palette, believe it or not. And I will say that when you know your color analysis results and use those results when you're out and about shopping, it really changes your perspective on your shopping experience, meaning you are the center of your shopping experience and you're saying what works for you, as opposed to the stores and trends and what have you dictating what works for you. Which means then sometimes it is quite a journey to build a wardrobe centered around your coloring and personal style needs. And sometimes it will take multiple seasons to create a wardrobe that you love in your color palette and style. I used to take people shopping with their color analysis results. And I will say, like in every weather season, I have found every color season palette, and so perhaps it's just about adjusting your eye and being open to seeing your palette out and about. I know from my own personal experience, I'm a true summer, as many of you know. I just came back from Panama and I was in a artisan market there, and I found this there. I'll say the colors in the market were abundantly warm and bright and what have you, but I managed to find true summer colors in a Jamaican market where there's an abundance of red, gold, and green and black colors to buy. I found this bag. So perhaps it's just about being on the more extreme lookout for your palette. I find too, when you have on your mind your palette and are shopping with that on your mind and feeling like, yes, I'm going to find something in my palette, the law of attraction kicks in, and because you're feeling like you're going to find something in your palette, you will find something in your palette, as opposed to, oh, there's nothing out there in my palette, I can't see stuff in my palette. Perhaps the law of attraction will create that for you. Meaning, if you're thinking there's nothing out there in your palette, nothing will be out there in your palette. But in general, like I said, I do find every color season and every weather season usually, and in different geographical locations, I usually find many color seasons to all color seasons out there in stores. So keep a keen eye and a lookout for your palette. If you're somebody still processing your color analysis result and are just starting out on their color analysis journey, sometimes I'll hear back that people are using color references that aren't the same as the color analysis system they were assessed within. So I always suggest using the color references provided by the color system you were assessed within, because online free references may, and in many cases, be different from the color analysis system that you were assessed within. Another thing I'm hearing from people in processing mode of their color analysis result is perhaps they receive a color palette that they weren't expecting, and perhaps there are colors in the palette that they don't particularly like, or their closet hasn't been filled with those colors historically. Sometimes these people who are still processing their result, I'm finding, are getting hung up on one color in their color palette. And so I'm just going to grab, say, True Autumn, for example. So I hear a lot from True Autumns who receive this palette result as a surprise, saying, oh, but I don't like brown, or I don't like orange. My advice would be then to not wear those colors, perhaps if you don't like them, and focus on the colors in your palette that you do like. So an alternative to brown for a True Autumn would be the navy in your palette, and the greens I find quite neutral on autumns as an alternative, particularly the darker greens, alternative to brown, that is. And so my advice would be, there are several colors in the palette, perhaps focus on the ones you like and start out with those, and perhaps they'll open you up to trying the colors historically that you might not have gravitated to. A color analysis really is looking at what the colors do to you, and not really taking into account the colors you like. And so you'll have to look at the palette and filter your likes and dislikes in there. But ultimately, my advice would be to open up your horizons, because sometimes your dislikes and exploring those are actually opportunities to grow. And in this case, expand your color horizons. When you go through a color analysis process, not just one color in a palette is looked at. There are several steps in a color analysis, and several specific colors chosen at particular times to look at what those colors are doing to you, and the color analysis checks. And so you just focusing, say, on one color is really not doing a color analysis. Hopefully the thoughts in this video help you as you are going shopping and processing your color analysis result. I'm going out to deal with these leaves. It is Sunday here, and in fact, today is the day we turn the clocks back where I'm at geographically. So yay to one extra hour in the day.